Hello, my name is Kaylee, and if you have stumbled across this video, welcome to the channel. This is the true crime section of the channel. So if you're not into true crime or you don't think you can handle the contents of a true crime video, please skip to another video. We do have different videos of all different things, travel, vlogs, lifestyle, a bit of everything is on this channel. So if true crime is not a passion of yours, please find another video. With today's case, I do also want to add in an additional warning. This case is very intense. It does cover sexual assault, and there are also children involved in this case in some aspects. So if that is something that will trigger you, this really won't be the video for you. Today's case is about Sharon Siermans, who was a woman who lived in the Ballarat region in Victoria, Australia. It is a bit of a longer case, so I'm going to just jump straight into it. Sharon was born on the 22nd of August 1983 to John and Denise Siermans. Now, the couple had 4 children and Sharon was the youngest. She had 3 older brothers. They all grew up in the Ballarat region. At a young age, Sharon was diagnosed with a learning disability, and once she left school, she became a cleaner. She then did a nail technician's course, and after she completed this course, she set up a small studio at her home. In May of 2008, Sharon's true calling in life was realised when she became the mum to beautiful baby boy, Aaron. She would do absolutely anything for her son. She was a fantastic mother. Family was really a big aspect for Sharon, and it was noted throughout her entire community what a fantastic mum she was to Aaron. Now, just 3 years after Aaron is born, Sharon and her partner, they split up. Sharon was extremely family orientated. She had a fantastic relationship with her parents and also to someone called Anne Bruce, who was Aaron's paternal grandmother. They had a fantastic relationship and would see each other daily practically. Sharon is single for about a year, and in January 2013 she decides to start looking for love again. So she gets on an app called Plenty of Fish, which is a dating app for singles. Now, while she's on the app, she meets a person called Jason Godfrey, and the pair, they start chatting. They also exchange phone numbers, so they don't just chat on the app, but they text and call each other and things like that. Jason explains to Sharon that he hasn't been in a relationship for the past 7 years because his previous fiancée had sadly died in a car accident, and he's only now just got his confidence back to enter the dating world. After a week of texting and chatting on the phone, the pair decide to meet, and they decide that they will meet each other at the train station. Jason was going to come in via train and Sharon was going to pick him up from the station. Now, when Sharon arrives at the train station to pick Jason up, she realizes straight away Jason is not what he seems. He does not match his profile picture that was on the dating app. He's really disheveled and just unclean. His hair was a mess. His clothes were filthy. And she just really did not like the vibes that she was getting from Jason right from the start. But Sharon, she already felt bad for Jason because of the fact that he hadn't been able to date in the last 7 years because of his confidence and things like that. So she didn't want to reject him, but she was also too embarrassed to take him out in public. She did not want to actually be seen with him. So she decides to take him back to her house where they can have a coffee in private and no one from their local community will see her with this man. They weren't at Sharon's home very long before she managed to text a friend of hers to ring her and give her pretty much a cover story as to why she needs to now leave. This, of course, leads to Jason then being dropped off back at the train station, and Sharon was really relieved that she got out of this whole situation and got rid of him, basically. Now, the very next day, Sharon does text Jason and say that she's no longer interested in pursuing a relationship, that she just didn't feel like it was going to go anywhere. And she was really polite and, you know, she didn't want to upset him or discourage him from dating because of the story that he had told her, but she was not interested at all. She also told her parents about what had happened and how it was very, very awkward, but she told her parents that she had taken him to a local Chinese restaurant and not actually her home. Now, around the same time that Jason and Sharon start talking on the Plenty of Fish dating app, Jason also starts talking to a woman called Sonia. And eventually Sonia even introduces Jason to all of her family, who say, you know, they're a great match. It's lovely to see. But a little bit more about Jason. Now, Jason was born in 1983. He was not academically gifted in any way, shape, or form. And at the age of 14, he was already addicted to marijuana. He did not have a great upbringing at all. His father was convicted of murder and he was currently in prison. Jason was also known to have a horrendous temper and he did not have his life on track from a very early age. Throughout his early 20s, Jason became very well known to police. He had over 140 convictions. But Jason, he was hiding a very dark past. Now remember, he had introduced himself to Sharon as Jason Godfrey. That was not in fact his name. He was using his mother's maiden name, Godfrey, but his real name was Jason Dinsley. And Jason's past, it was much worse than the few petty crimes that he had been telling his girlfriend Sonia that he had committed. Sonia did know that Jason had committed a few crimes and had been to prison because he was currently on parole, but she was under the assumption that it was for things like burglary, theft, things like that, not of any aggravated assault or anything too out there. It was more petty crimes. But in fact, Jason Dinsley, he had actually been convicted of rape. In 2006, Jason had attacked a 52-year-old woman at the Gatwick Hotel in St Kilda. After handcuffing and gagging this poor woman, he proceeded to rape her twice and then stole all of her belongings. He was arrested and convicted for this crime. He was sentenced to 9 years. He served 7 years and then was released on parole, which of course means his story to both women about how he had just not had confidence to date for 7 years and how his ex-fiancée had died in a car crash, that was all a big lie. On the 5th of April 2013, Sharon and Aaron have dinner with Sharon's parents. Unfortunately, this is the last time Sharon's parents will ever get to see her. It was around 2 a.m. when Jason decided to get up out of his bed and leave his Sebastopol home. He was going to head into the Ballarat city centre because he just wanted to go for a walk. Jason walked down Doveton Street, which is where Sharon's home was, and during this time, apparently, he just saw red. He remembered the rejection that Sharon had given him 3 months prior. So he decided to walk the 3-kilometer trip back to his home and collect a cricket bat. Just before 5 a.m, Jason returned to Sharon's home. He broke in through one of the back windows. And this, of course, this wakes up Sharon, so she comes out of her bedroom and confronts Jason. The pair start to argue, and it is at that point in time that Jason hits Sharon with the cricket bat. During the attack, Sharon does try to defend herself, but unfortunately is unable to. The pair's commotion does wake up Aaron, and he comes out of his bedroom and sees what is happening. Jason notices Aaron there, and this makes him usher Sharon into her bedroom. This is where Jason tries to rape Sharon. He is unable to get an erection at this point, and that just infuriates him even more. This is said to then cause him to start bashing her, even with his fists. But eventually he does continue to hit her with the cricket bat, which causes her death. Jason then collects the bat, his shoes, the window plane that he'd taken out to break into the house, and also Sharon's iPhone, and he leaves the premises. Later that morning, Anne and Bruce arrives at Sharon's house because they were going to meet up that day, but Sharon had not been replying to any text messages that Anne was sending during the morning, so she just decided to go over. She then discovers Aaron in the home and sees blood on the floor and on the walls. She asks Aaron, "Where's Mum?" And poor Aaron says, "There was a big man came last night. He hit Mummy with a bat. Mummy won't wake up to give me breakfast." Obviously, the police are contacted straight away and the investigation starts. Now, police know that Sharon's iPhone has been taken during this attack, and they put alerts on it for if it's activated or used to notify police. It only took Jason 2 days to turn on Sharon's iPhone, and of course the police were alerted. Jason was swiftly arrested while he was at Sonia's house, and Sonia claims that she did not know anything about what had happened, that she had in fact spoken to Jason about Sharon's murder, as it was very publicized over the last couple of days. And Sonia claimed that the phone Jason was currently using was brand new. He had only purchased it a couple of days from a friend. During police questioning, Jason admits to everything that he has done to Sharon. He also admits that for the 3 months prior to Sharon's death, he had been sending her text messages of threats, death threats, calling her, abusing her. Sharon never reported any of this to the police or told her parents or friends or family. She was living with this for the months prior. No doubt this poor woman was living in fear of this animal and just didn't tell anyone about it. Jason was convicted and sentenced to 32 years for what he did to Sharon. Remembering he was out on parole at the time, and during this he was meant to be going to parole meetings and things like that, which he did go to. During one of these parole meetings, he was found to have drugs in his system. So he knew he was going back to jail anyway to complete his first rape conviction and complete out the 9-year sentence that he originally had. Now, with the 2 sentences combined, Jason is not eligible for release until 2047. This case to me screams everything that is wrong with the justice system. How somebody like Jason was released on parole, just, it blows my mind. The man was not smart enough to lie his way through the system of parole. I just don't believe he would have been smart enough. I think it got to a point where, okay, he's served enough time, let's get him out of here. And he didn't even last 6 months before he reoffended and attempted to rape a woman and murdered her. He was convicted of rape previously. He should never have been released. It infuriates me that criminals like Jason are released and they're not reformed, and they just don't care about anybody but themselves. It infuriates me. I want to express my deepest sympathies and condolences to Sharon's family and friends, especially her parents and her son and her brothers. I mean, everybody, but I know I've been reading that Sharon's parents now have full custody of Aaron and are doing everything they can to give him the life that he deserves. I really hope that this video and this case just brings to light the dangers of meeting strangers. Please always meet in a public space and don't take people to your home if you don't know them or things like that. Please remember to take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.